Yeah, the music is made by JRP2234. He's also like a Metroid runner, but just vanilla stuff. Yeah, this is just one of the 18 ROMX I speedrun, and for some ROMX I do multiple categories. So there's quite a lot of Metroid that I do. It's basically half of all the runs that I do are just Metroid. The music is actually on JRP's SoundCloud if anyone wants to listen to it. He has all those songs on the internet, so if anyone wants to listen to it, it's on the internet. We're getting close to the percentage. It's gonna say probably 101%. Unless I missed an item. It's possible that I missed one, but probably not. Well, yeah, that's the screen you see when you have 100%, or well, probably 101% now. There we go. That's Metro Trail 6. Hope you guys enjoyed. I just looked at the schedule and there's nothing. If there's filler needed, I can do another run, another ROMEC, unless it's not if it's not necessary, then we can cut it here. But if there's like filler needed till the next run, I can do another one, like a different ROMEC.
possible. I don't know if I'm live. Hello everyone. Can everybody hear me today? I've been told that I'm live. I just want to make sure that I'm live before I get started. So, hi. Hello. I'm Ria. I am your lovely. I was gonna say your lovely hostess, but I'm not the host for the run. I'm just the runner. About to get started. I've been told that I'm live. This is Quest 64. I am still Ria Starshade. And yeah, this is kind of awkward. I'm gonna go ahead and give a 5 count, and then I'm gonna get started if that's all the same to everybody. So without further ado, let's get started here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and start. Alright. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna mash through those opening cutscenes. We are gonna go talk to with the Grand Abbot. We're gonna go set our tech speed to maximum, and we are gonna head out of the monastery. We're gonna pick up a few items that will assisticate us on our journey. Mostly just a couple of healing items. Gonna go through Melroad, and then yeah, onward with the rest of the game. There's not really any plot or story, and got 2.5 hours of this, give or take, so chances are that there'll be plenty of time to talk about things. But I don't want to burn out talking about all the nuances and intricacies of the battle combat, etc. Whoops, come on, pick up the bread. Not that complicated, Brian. So this category is all spirits, no major glitches. So no major glitches means I won't be using spirit cloning, and I won't be using what else? Out of bounds, but I will be using agility glitch because agility glitch makes everything better. Favorite breakfast food? Probably omelets, although I typically don't eat a lot of breakfast food. My go-to breakfast is a turkey, cheese, and pita bread sandwich, so speak to that what you will. I am not super fond of breakfast food altogether. That said, having a waffle actually does sound kind of good. I haven't had one of those in quite a while. I am, however, used to waking up at this time, so it's actually no problem getting up at 6:15. I'm usually at work a little bit, right out or slightly before 6 o'clock, so I didn't have to drive into work, and I'm starting a bit later than 6 o'clock, so hey, works for me. Although I kind of woke up at 4:30 anyway. Go me, right? We're gonna hope that our first encounter is bunnies. Because of the agility glitch, I need to be faster than the enemies in the fight to be able to do agility glitch. Wink. So, come on, bunnies, come on, no heckers, no heckersy. Yay, bunnies! So the agility glitch says if I am faster than every enemy in the fight, and I immediately pass my turn before the fight starts, I'm going to gain a bunch of extra agility based on the distance traveled since the previous fight. There's some nuances and intricacies involving the coordinates and exactly how it works, but that gets into a certain level of esoterica that I'm not sure is necessarily something that the broader audience of speedrun watchers is necessarily keen to hear me pontificate upon, so I will spare all of you the trouble of listening to me ramble on about internal game mechanics that I'm sure that I and approximately 0 other people in the chat actually care about. So the important things are we need to fight enough enemies to get to 77 experience before we get to the first fight. We need to be picking up these spirits between here and, well, the end of the game, but notably prior to the first fight. So the experience is determining the spirits we get after battle, whereas our stats, HP, MP, defense, and agility, those level in the style of Final Fantasy II, where you get more of the stats by using them. You gain HP by taking hits and dealing damage with your staff. You gain MP by dealing damage with your spells, or other spell successes if for non-damaging spells, like, you know, healing. Defense you get by taking hits. Ability you get by running around. My voice is soothing. Well, I'm never sure how to take that, but I'm going to take it as a compliment because I think that's how it was intended, so thank you. Notice that I'm kind of, even though I'm faster than the werehairs, I'm still passing my turn because that's giving me extra agility, so I should have like 11, 12 agility by now. The amount of agility you get from the agility glitch is dependent on 12 agility, dependent on the distance traveled since the previous fight. So if the previous fight was really nearby and I get the dreaded 2-step encounter, then I generally won't bother agility glitching because you just won't get any real benefit out of it. Moving right along, got another spirit here in the... Which you... come on. Not that difficult, Brian. Thank you. So we are moving right along towards Dondrin. Would have liked to have some more encounters that I could fight for experience, but this fight is decent. Giving me 12 experience. Just might take like 4 or 5 turns, but that's okay. It's okay. It's not the end of the world, and if it is the end of the world, well, I won't be living long enough to really care, so it doesn't matter. There we go. So we have 20 experience now. Those man-eaters are worth 4 apiece. Oh my goodness. I need the enemies to actually hit Brian because I do need that defense. No, coming up on the first town of Dondrin. Oh my gosh, not the... Darn you, big mouths. Curses. Foiled again. Alright, I do have 15 agility, so that's pretty good. I do need to be at... I need to be at 16 going into the forest, because that is the speed of the fastest enemy in the forest. So I'm gonna go and I didn't get a dewdrop from a Hecker Z, so I'm gonna have to go in here and pick one up. And then I need to go ahead and pick up the yellow wings, because we'll need those for... coming back to Dondrin, because there's a couple spirits I can't get on my first trip. I'll have to make another trip, and we'll do that after Zealous, which is the second boss. Gonna pick up our spirit down here that we can get. Agility determines your turn order, it determines your movement radius in battle, it determines your hit rate, and it determines your dodge rate. It does not affect your character model move speed, nor does it determine anything about how fast you cast spells. I'm sorry if that was if that explanation was a bit unclear. I apologize. Please do ask me to clarify. A little slide there. just a trick where you use Brian's momentum after you pass the turn to be able to push yourself just a little bit further than you should be able to go. Alright, well, I'm glad that that explanation was sufficiently clear. Now that you have 8, once you have 8 water, your rock one should be able to one-shot the... Should be able to one-shot the werehairs because of, again, more esoterica about how the internal mechanics are calculated and how spirit levels are determined, and a whole bunch of fancy stuff I definitely could talk about, but I'm not sure if they're actually appropriate for general audiences. Like, all right, so this is really good. I want to take fights here with these RiaSkies. They use Windcutter level 2, which is the first multi-hit spell that we're going to see in the game. Whoops, I did not mean to cast the Rock 1 there. Now we're going to repeatedly take hits so that we can boost up our max HP and defense, because the first boss is very strong in the sense of he's actually so strong that they when they released the Japanese version, which did come out, hello there, RREIA, which did come up after the US version did, they actually did some things to make the game a little bit easier, added some quality of life features, and notably they toned down the strength of the first boss a little bit. But this is the original version, the US version, the hardcore version, if you will. And therefore we have to fight Solvering at his full, ridiculous strength. One more hit. Yeah, I'll take one more. I think I picked up the spirit, but I should check. Oh, nope, I did not. Good thing I checked. Like, I think I picked up the spirit. Let me check. No, I did not pick up the spirit. Good thing I checked. So you'll see me do that heal chaining where I'm casting the heal spell multiple times in quick succession. That is just a technique to cut down on animation frames, because you don't have to wait for the full spell animation to completely finish before you start casting another spell. For similar reasons, I will try to avoid casting heals in battle where it's not necessary for me to do so that I can do those chain heals outside of battles. So in this category, we pick up all the spirits, which are 98 of them in total. So there are a total of 98 spirits we pick up, plus we will end up getting... Can't remember exactly how many battle spirits, but another 30 or so. So we'll end up somewhere around 50 or 50 water and like 32 fire or so. I think that sounds about right. Well, the category requires that we pick them all up. Hence all spirits in the game info category. This is not... Picking up all of the spirits is definitely not optimal from an any percent maximization of optimization blah 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 schedule. it is mostly for the fact that this is the category I prefer because it is a little bit less competitive and... Oh, does it? Any percent is not correct. It should say on the game info in the layout because that's what I put it in the game layout. So that any percent is incorrect, and I could probably change it, but I'm also preoccupied with doing the run. So plus I don't know all the commands to add into the title, at least not off the top of my head. So yeah, this should be all spirits, no major glitches. I mean, I'll still be at the 235 estimate, but... Oh my gosh. I'm gonna actually let this thing... I'm gonna go try to run away to... Yeah, let it hit me over and over again. Because I do need to take another defense fight. And it's actually hitting me successfully, so that's pretty awesome. Wink. Miss? How can you miss? You were standing right over my head and you still missed. So, I am a little bit rusty. I must admit I had a kind of busy week. And I did not really get a chance. And I really only have the time to stream during the weekends, so... I'm a little bit rusty, and hopefully I will not embarrass myself too badly, although I do have a chance tomorrow with Earthbound to hopefully redeem myself as opposed to embarrass myself further. I don't need to pick the treasure chest up, and then that is a Giant's Boots. And in true glitchless categories where you don't use agility glitch, a very useful item for the first boss. It gives you enhanced movement radius, but in any category that uses agility glitch, we're going to end up having so much agility anyway that it is not necessary. So we're just moving through the Connor Forest. I had to think, which forest are we in? Not Windward. It's not Glen Troll. It's Connor. I do need to fight these. I need a little bit more of the spirit experience. But we are rapidly getting to the first fight, or the first boss. It's not the first fight. We're clearly already fought several things before, so silly RREIA. I think I got an exact damage kill on the We're good on experience. I need to have the spirit and then 25% and 77 experience. Trying to take a few more hits though. I'd like to, if possible, get to 9 defense, but I don't think that's necessarily going to happen this run. 58%, yeah, I'll give it a couple tries for a Frog Knight fight. Oh, never mind then. Like, we got it. Unfortunately, with our agility being much higher than it was at the start of the grind, they don't exactly have the greatest hit rate anymore. Alright, there we go. So again, I'm just trying to get to 9 defense. Although if I can get a little bit more defense, then that will definitely just mean I have to do a little bit less defense grinding when I get to... what the flip is it called? Full Hazard. Like, what's the dungeon where I would be grinding some more defense with the Skelebats? Yep, that's the one. Unfortunately, there is some lag, and I could be rotating my camera to avoid the lag, but actually Skelebats tend to be a little bit faster to grind defense on, because they have Skelebats have they attack with 0 animation frames. Also, I healed for exactly enough. That has absolute... well, first of all, my pronouns are she, her, and second of all, because I did not need to win the fight, I only needed to get the defense and HP that came out of taking those hits over and over again. So this is the first boss, Solvering, 200 health, 40 damage, 63 damage, 89 damage, 101, 123, 147. Solvering just can't hit me. 172. There it goes. And he hit me. Oh, must have miscounted. And he's dead. Now that was the first boss. He missed a lot, and that is the power of agility glitch. The fact that I am super over agilitied, so my hit rate is super high, and my chances of evading enemy attacks is also quite high. So it really, really helps out with the first fight. Normally, like if you're doing a glitchless run, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna keep missing, and I died. But in this category with the agility glitch, it is very much a non-issue. Fortunately, I don't yet have the escape spell, so I am at the mercy of running out of the encounter zone. Unfortunately, you don't get the escape spell until after 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 Zels is when we get escape. The 23 water to get that spell. So we are basically done with the Connor Forest and just needed to go duck in for a little bit more agility. Nice, I didn't actually know I could one-shot them. But now I do. I'm just like, well, it's probably going to be faster to do this than to try to escape the fight, so why not? Well, this category, is it Aaron lore? This category we will not be spending any time out of bounds because it is no major glitches. But there is there is the questing dance, You can quest if you want to, you can leave the game behind. Your friends don't quest, and if they don't quest, then they're no friends of mine. Certainly we've all heard the questing dance before. Remember that song? I mean, I seem to remember it, although whether or not anybody else does is questionable. I don't know why nobody else remembers that song. I'm getting a transmission. Apparently, other people remember that song differently. I'm not at all sure what they're talking about. It's always been the questing dance. Yes, so it should say all spirits, no major glitches on my end, at least when I put in this stuff, but I don't know if they adjust, if there were some adjustments made, and unfortunately I have the ability to control the stream title. I can do the edit command because I am a moderator in this channel, but I am also busy with actually playing the game, so also trying to manipulate around to edit commands is sadly not the highest on my priority list at the moment. I will ask for your understanding in that regard. Well, I'm not really sure, Jamuo, if there's really any story whatsoever for this game. Here, I will in fact give all of you the entirety of the story for this game. A month ago, a book gets stolen from the monastery. Your dad goes to look for the book. Your dad goes missing. You go to look for the book and for your dad. That's it. That's the entire story. You wanted more story? Sorry, that's all you get. You wanted a plot? Play a different game. Where the flip am I? Now we are moving right along. Just doing some agility glitch where I can, because I do need to get... I'd like to get to about... Well, before we get to Nepti, before we get to the Isle of Skye, I would like to be ideally at... It'd be right at 75 agility, although I suspect I may not quite get there, in which case, we'll have to hope for no fish sticks. Yes, there's an enemy that it's actually called the Grangok, or Grangotch. But it literally looks like a fish head attached to the eraser end of a pencil. And that's why we call them the fish sticks. Which I don't think I've had a fish stick in a very, very long time. I mean, normally I just go with like some breaded fish product as opposed to like a traditional kitty fish stick, but I haven't had that either. It sounds kind of good. I'll maybe have to ask about that next week. Almost done here. I'm gonna take one more fight for agility. Have I played? I have not, RREIA. I know absolutely nothing about the game whatsoever. But we're moving right along. We're out of the Glen Troll Forest. Oh no! It's Crazy Chicken! It's the Crazy Chicken! It's coming to drop rocks on me. And maybe even kill me. Both of those things would be bad. Especially at the same time, which is what it would try to do. Because it uses the all-powerful avalanche spell. Also known as Rocks Fall, Everybody Dies. You know, maybe we should call it, maybe Brian could moonlight as a DM because he's very proficient in the use of Rocks Fall, Everyone Dies. Now we are almost to the boat. And then onward to West Karma, the third region of the game, where we'll be spending a plurality of the time in the game is spent in West Karma, because that's where you've got 2 of your 4 elemental jewels. Not to mention 2 of the longest, most monotonous, boringest dungeons in the entire game. I was going to say in the entire world, and then I changed it to game, but honestly, 2 of the most boringest dungeons in the entire world is probably not too far off either. I'm getting a lot of encounters here, and that's rather unpleasant. So if I were doing a true attempt, I would save here to set up a death warp. But since that's not going to be the case, I'm not going to do that. We'll save elsewhere. We are moving right along. Go ahead and... Yes, those are the same werehairs from the very beginning of the game. Why they put them here in this region, I have absolutely no idea. Maybe it was just as a joke. I honestly have no clue. But yeah, they're the same enemies in the very beginning of the game. They are just as weak as always. And I think that's about all I've got to say about that. We just gotta pick up a couple more spirits, and we're gonna go on to Larapool. Where I'm going to pick up some blue wings, which is all I need to do there. There's a water sorceress there named Layla. But she's like, you know, I really have stuff that you need to do here in Liverpool, but the wind stopped in Norman, and you might want to go check that out over in Norman, because that's kind of more important than all the stuff that I have to ask you to do. So you get forced to go there first. Not one of those, you know, you don't get to be like, yeah, I'd really rather do the water stuff first. You don't get that option. Oh, running right along. Yeah, that's all we need to do is just grab the blue wings, because we're going to be warping back to Liverpool. The wings let you warp back to the town in question. There's all of the major towns, all 6 of them have a set of wings associated with them, which get progressively darker as the story progresses. In the literal color sense, yellow then or white, then yellow, then blue and green, then red, and finally black. Gonna go ahead and do a heal chain there, and we're gonna move on. And again, one of the nice things about having so much agility is that our movement radius is considerably larger than it would be in a glitchless category, which means, of course, that whenever we're trying to get out of the battles, it takes far fewer turns just because we're able to move more towards the end towards the battle arena edge with each of our turns. Hope everybody is having a fine, I was going to say Sunday morning, but no, it's still Saturday morning to start your weekend off, or perhaps Saturday afternoon, depending on where you live around the world. So just as a reminder, this is a charity event supporting Able Gamers. So if you want to type !donate in the chat, and if you are in a position where you are financially able to send some money their way, we would be greatly appreciative. I know that we've raised something like $1,275 at this point. So, have I played Parasite Eve? I own the game RREIA, but I have not yet played it. It is a similar combat system, and that's kind of a go-to, what I go for a game that has a combat system that seems very similar from what I have, what I'm aware of. So this is the skill about I was talking about that I said I would be grinding some stats on. Don't wanna get killed there. Now remember, if you are able to donate, I mean, please. Obviously, any money that you can donate towards the cause is greatly appreciated, but definitely don't feel like we're strong-arming you to do so, particularly if you don't feel comfortable in your financial position to do so. We, or at least I, can always speak for making sure to respect your own limitations, and I know that a lot of us may not be in the financial position to donate. If not, please do not feel any pressure, but any money that you can support does go to a good cause. Need to cast a few heals, just a couple there. Make sure I don't get KO'd, because that would be bad. Oh, nice. I'm down to taking 4 to 6. I'm looking at the, I just glanced over at the date and I'm like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already the 14th of August. I mean, it's like, it's already the middle of August. Like, where did this month go? It's already halfway over. Holy crap. Dang it, Brian, stop missing. There we go. So we do need to fight a few blood gels. So there's the dragons. This thing has 1 health left. And I'm gonna die. Aren't I? I'm gonna die. This thing has 1 health left. I'm gonna die. Alright, never mind. I did 39, 40, 40. And it has 120 health. And I was like, I'm gonna die. Like Shadow? The Hedgehog? I'm gonna use this silent flute here to... Fake? You're not even good at... Faker. You were not good enough to be my fake. Oh my gosh. Pick up the spirit, Brian. Thank you. I'm sorry, Larry, that your knee is causing some issues this morning. Was it? No, I don't believe it was an arrow. It is nice that we're already at 79 HP. It means we really don't need to do much grinding for HP defense, because I need to be at 81 HP and 15 defense going into the next. No. My neck is a little stiff this morning. Part of it, I think is mostly just because I'm gonna try to do settings. Hopefully my internet will not get upset with me. But I am going to raise the bitrate a little bit. Hopefully it'll make things a little bit clearer. I know the bitrate was set to about 1,000. I raised it up to about 1,400. I mean, this is not a super high detail game, so I think it was actually still fine. But I haven't dropped any frames yet today, so I'm a little bit cautiously optimistic that if I raise the bitrate just a hair, we can squeezle. Frosty, she's not. She's not joking. Wrong button. This is a third-party Nintendo 64 controller that I just got. Or I didn't just get it, I got it a year or two back. And it has dual Z buttons right behind the L and R, behind each of the L and R buttons. So we are going to. We have a little bit of an. I was going to say an input break, but we don't actually have an input break. I have to keep moving. There won't be any encounters on this stretch of the map, so I'm not sure if there are any donations that have come in. But if so, I don't know if I can see them. Looks like there was an anonymous donation that came in a little while ago of $33. It puts us at the nice even number of 1,300. I'm not sure if there have been any other donations since the start of this event, so, or not the start of, obviously since the start of the event there have been, but All right, so we are almost to the end of the dungeon. We're good on HP and defense. Good on agility as well. That's 62. Nice and where we want. That's nice. Good where we want to be. Just a little bit more of a walk, and then we will be in Normoon. Pick up a few spirits here in Normoon, and then it'll be onward. I'm going to take a quick safety save here in the inn, just because I want to make sure if I do get KO'd by Zels. I'm not expecting it to happen, but it definitely could happen, and I want to make sure that I am being aware of the possibility and adjusting accordingly for marathon safety. So moving right along now. Going to do an agility glitch, and this agility glitch is actually worth the second most of the agility glitches. Nice. Alright, we got 16 defense, which means they'll also do 34 to 39. With the large cutter. The thunder gels there use wind cut or not wind fire homing arrow 2, which is what the blood gels were using in the previous dungeon, which is a 5-hit attack. There is a 6-hit attack wind cut level 3. Hopefully we don't see the Lamia. Those are the one enemy that I can think of that uses wind cutter 3, and they sting like heck, so don't have those. What? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Thanamir. I'm not quite following your comment. Are you talking about? No, though. Speaking of the Lamia, there we are. I will take the hits once, so you can see the glory of Wind Cutter 3, and how it just absolutely shreds my HP in half. Oh no, unfortunately, you have to go into the menu. Thankfully, it's not too difficult to do so. So occasionally you'll see me pop open the menu just to see my stats. Alright, so here's Zels. 680 health. And remember how I said rocks fall, everybody dies? Well, that's going to be the strategy for the entire rest of the game, so get used to it. 1. 2. And we're trying to bait him into using his mid-range attack that's easily dodgeable. 3, 4. Unfortunately, got a little close. 6. I'm just counting. The 6 is just counting how many hits I've done to Zels. Nice misses. Unfortunately, sometimes rocks fall and the enemies don't get hit. And that's frustrating when that happens. 7. Eight, 9. Should be just about dead, so there we go. Ta-da! Oops. Yeah. Just picking up some spirits. Yeah, I used the rock 1 for the finish just because I wanted to minimize the chances that the rocks would fall everywhere except for on Zels's face like I wanted them to, which sadly does happen from time to time, so... Since I used the mint lead, I can talk to Galita there, and she will give you another set. So there are some NPCs that will give you items, but only if you don't have any of that particular item. That's why we make sure to use the... We are heading into the Blue Cave now. Now that we have 23 water, we have the escape spell. And at 34 Earth, we have the Rock Shower spell, which we're going to be using periodically. In order to try to increase my max MP a little bit more. Remember, I am trying to get as to 75 agility by the end of the dungeon, if possible. Owie, I forgot the mimics hurt a lot. Cape actually working? I don't know what that is. Now we have to go to that far end of that path at the start of the dungeon. Because there's a spirit there. See, the mimics, they hurt. Like Walking Water and Ice Knife are not particularly high damage spells, but they still do a lot of damage because their stats are jacked up nice and high. Mimics, jerks in any game they're in. Yep, I mean, I could probably think of some games where they're not total jerks, but yeah, usually they are. I mean, to be fair, I think they're also kind of jerks in D&D as well, so I don't think it's limited to just being in video games where they are jerks, although in video games they tend to be jerks. Final Fantasy XII, they were particularly annoying because they took the place of save points. Like, who thought that was a good idea? Feeling you. Mimics came in and stole your save points. I don't like that. Although, okay, so yeah, there were also mimics that took the place of treasure chests, particularly in the underground dungeon. I can't remember the name of it. It's been so long since I played 12. So I mentioned earlier that whenever I cast a spell, I get some experience towards increasing my max MP. That's the idea why I'm casting Rock Shower, because it hits every enemy, so it gives me however many. Final Fantasy XII, the mimics that take the place of your save points, the crystal bugs, whatever they're called. I mean, yes, there are mimics that take the place of treasure chests, but I was talking about the save bug crystals, whatever they're called. Just pointing out that was kind of annoying. Yeah, there are mimics that take the place of treasure chests, but there are also some like crystal bugs that take the place of your save crystals. Indeed. I'm sorry. Final Fantasy XII, I think a lot it's a very kind of, it's a somewhat more divisive game than the ones before, just because it is really, I think, accurately described as being a single player MMO, and kind of how it's structured. I'm kind of surprised they could fit it all onto one disc, to be perfectly honest. Well, I hope that it works out for you, RREIA. I'm certainly on your side to the extent that I'm able without Oh yeah, I forgot that now I have 25 water, so I actually can cast heal 2. I don't know why I cast the escape spell there. Like the one time I could actually get out of the fight by walking out, I cast escape instead of casting rock shower. Just Rhea being a dingus. So as far as what's going on in terms of the game, we're just walking through the dungeon, and it is boring as sin. Not the Final Fantasy X one, of course, just I'm saying in terms of like boring as... Yep, that's about it. That's about the extent of it. You're already up to 21 MP, that's nice. I'd like to get to 24 by Fargo if possible. If not, not the end of the world, but definitely want 24 for Guilty. I've just noticed that apparently we have 69 agility. If I were into lame internet memes about numbers, I would make some sort of nice reference, but I won't. Because I am a filthy meme defier. Feel free to at me. I love how there are people that are like, don't at me, don't at me, don't at me. And I'm just like, every time I see somebody come in and be like, don't at me, as in response to somebody, like my instinctual response is to immediately just at them, just because they said don't at me. Does that make me a total jerk? Probably. Do I care? Probably not. So it's important not to cast Rock Shower here, because in against these Skelebats, there is a high probability of that doing so will lead to the game crashing. Not missing, Brian. Hello, Lady Starbird. Yep, it's Rhea. The one and only. Well, maybe not the one and only. I was on Discord in a different server, and there was another Rhea, and it was like, oh my gosh, there's another Rhea. Am I doing well? I mean, I'm playing Quest 64, so I don't know how well I'm doing, but other than that, things are going alright. I'm just intentionally taking a bunch of hits there because I want to increase my HP stat a little bit. Yeah, there was another Rhea, spelled the same, spelled correctly and all. We had a little bit of a bonding moment. I was just like, hey, I say somebody else named Rhea, and I'm just like, more Rheas? I'm in. I'm into this. I am 100% picking up what you are putting down. True, true. Quest 64. Quest 64 is it's an experience. Perfect one up. It is an experience. Whether or not it is a good or a bad experience is left as an exercise to the viewer. But I don't think it is the most terrible game ever made. Like, there are some seriously awful games out there, and well, Quest 64 does not deserve any awards for being good. I wouldn't say it's one of the worst games out there. I mean, it's no Superman 64. You know, Superman for Commodore 64? That's of course what we're talking about, right? No, of course not. Of course we want Superman for the Nintendo 64. Dun dun dun. Nah. One last spirit here to pick up. I agree, RREIA does get a little too much hate. I mean, there are truly, truly awful games out there. But, well, this game is hardly what I would consider a good game. The speedrun of the game is definitely, I think, the best way to play through the game. Maybe like a casual speedrun as opposed to like a hardcore competitive grinding for top time speedrun, where I think the game gets kind of nasty and trolly. As I mentioned during my vlog, I like speedrun. I like streaming. I like speedrunning most of the time. Looking at you, Earthbound. Yeah, I recently, a few weeks back, I started a vlog series where I just kind of ramble about my experiences in streaming and life. I don't know. Whether or not it will be successful is still very much up in the air, but we will see. But I have a lot of things to talk about. Although I prefer the vlog format just because I sometimes need time to formulate my thoughts and everything into coherent words. Words are difficult. Words can be very difficult. No, we don't quite have 75 agility, unfortunately, so we're at the mercy of the fish stick. I'm going to save at the owl. You know, I'm going to save at the owl. That's something you expect to hear in Majora's Mask and not in Quest 64. Although, here we are. It's one of the greatest tracks in the game, although we only hear it for a few seconds. The theme of Epona's house. If we do get fish sticks, I'll probably reset back to that save point. No, I'm afraid not. Owl OWL. I know that you're making a joke, and but I just figured I would clarify in case you were actually seriously asking. All right, no fish stick, yay! Not at the alien life form. There's the fish stick in question. Like, tell me that does not look like a fish head on the on the eraser end of a pencil. Mr. Keys, Lady Starbird is the crazy lady who does that run. I am merely I only play I only play games that are of marginal quality, like Quest 64. Even I don't have that level of... Indeed. How is it going, Mr. Keys? I mean, the run's going okay. I mean, I'm playing Quest 64, so... You know, there is an upper limit on how well I can be doing given the circumstances. Thanomir, I'm gonna ask everybody in chat to please go ahead and press F to pay respects for you at this time. Just to press F in S to the chat for them. Just gotta go ahead and get those sympathies and condolences out right off the bat. Thank you all. 6. Ness, please stop missing. I know, I know, wrong game, that was intentional. Use this mint leaves. No, that's 6. She's at 6 hits. She's gonna take. She's gonna barely survive after the 8th hit. So. Dang it! Dang it, Ness! Not missing. Alright, got her. Dun, dun, dun. Another one bites the dust. Dun, dun, dun. Another one bites the dust. And another one's gone, and another one's gone. Another one bites the dust. Shh. I mean, since we're using earth and rock spells, I think biting the dust is actually quite apropos of a PK. Well, I mean, Thanomir, why PK Boulder? We literally have a spell from Mother 3, PK Ground. Let's just use that. And I mean, sure, this gets into the dichotomy of ground versus rock, which I guess in Pokemon are 2 separate types, but please, we have PK Ground. Let's use it. Which is, by the way, if from what I understand, it is a completely OP busted as all heck spell. Like, it is Kumatora's ultimate spell for a reason. Even more so than Starstorm, I would say. From what I can tell. Normally I would Death Warp out of here, but I do want to duck in here for a little bit more agility. Now that we have picked up a few points of agility, it's time to leave. We're gonna head on our way. Speaking of Earthbound, though, since we did hit the $1,000 stretch goal, means I will be back tomorrow to do Earthbound. Because I had said that, hey, if we get to 1,000, if we make it to a stretch goal, we can add more Link to the Run, and I will do Earthbound too. And Zell was like cool with it, so yep. So after 13-2 tomorrow, I'm gonna be doing some Earthbound to close out the event. So it will be massive excite. Well, I mean, I will probably rage. I will probably have rages at the baby variety, but apart from that, I hope it will be an excite and good time. So now we have to go get the bestest spirit in the entire game, the boat spirit. A spirit so sinister that it pisses off a lot of people, because why the heck are you supposed to know if there's a spirit there? Do I have any idea? None. But there is one there, so I've got to pick it up. Oops, I'm walking into the little plateau. So let's see what we've got. Yeah, the fish heads are actually also very strong, and they're incredibly slow. Like, it's between them and the Rockies for which enemy is going to be the slowest and waste the most time. And honestly, they might actually have the edge over the Rocky. The only thing the Rocky has going for it is that there are quite a few. The fish heads only are fish men, not fish heads. This isn't Star Ocean 3. We're not talking about the Vendini. Yes, I call the Vendini fish heads. Feel free to judge or not. It's all the same to me. Just gonna rotate the camera to try to reduce lag a little bit. I'm curious if this thing, let me see if this thing has been updated. Maybe I should actually use the correct number of ends. Yeah. There we go. Much better. Hashtag shamelessly self-promoting, but this is what we call Modaboost. That's right, everybody, I'm Modaboosting. Oh, I'm not sorry, not sorry. I'm just plain not sorry. Like, there's no sorry part. Yes, please don't abuse the mods. That includes me. But since I'm not an admin, you can abuse the admins all you want. I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're probably all still sleeping anyway. I have I of course mean that in the most joking and respectful manner. Please thank your local neighborhood and admin for helping to make this event possible. Do you know that this is actually the 10th really longathon event? I know. I mean, Reed's got to show up at some point during the run, during the event. I mean, what would a really longathon event look like without Rhea run? I mean, it'd probably be something crappy like really longathon 2.8. The joke being that's the only really longathon run where I have not event where I did not have a run. Yep, even going back to the very first one. Like there are 3 universal truths in the world: death, taxes, and Rhea will have some sort of run in really longathon. I don't know. I'm probably not making any sense. I might be a little still on the tired side. You'd think I wouldn't be, given that I'm pretty much always awake by 6 in the morning, but alas, it doesn't quite work out that way. Whether or not I am fully cogent when I get to work at 6 o'clock in the morning, however, is an entirely different story. But in a attempt to hashtag shameless self-promotion, make sure to follow the runner. You don't have to follow the other runners. You just have to follow this runner. Of course, that's a joke. Please, follow any runners that whose runs you enjoyed. I'm probably just I don't know. I'm probably should just quit while I'm before I use up any bit of my goodwill left over, and stop now so I can pull my foot out of my mouth, because that's apparently where it's been sitting for the last 15 minutes. Focus? But if I focus, I'm gonna have to focus on Quest 64. And the only way that I can stay sane is to not be focused on Quest 64. And instead try to do some sort of laughing and or joking. Because somehow or another that actually keeps me sane. I don't understand it either, but... it actually does work that way. I mean, I suppose I've been doing this for 6 years now, so I've acclimated a little bit, but then again, there's always the question of, well, am I sane at all? Probably not. I should probably stop, though. I don't want to I definitely shouldn't be making light of mental illness. I do apologize if anybody was taken offense by that. Although, amusingly enough, psychologically speaking, insanity does not exist. Insanity or insanity is purely a legal construct, not a medical one. as far as psychology is concerned, you could talk about various states of psychosis or becoming disconnected from reality, but sanity is not actually, strictly speaking, a psychological term. But I think it does help to do this streaming. For me, just running around now. And I would say the most difficult part of learning this run is how to not get turned around. This isn't a category that uses any particularly difficult to perform glitches. So it's really just a matter of getting placements, learning how to do a little slides, and just some general like game and battle knowledge. I'm up to 93 agility at this point. Is good because I do want to be at 95 or higher when I leave the dungeon, which I definitely should be. Oh my gosh, getting into all the two-step encounters, that's definitely a RREIA rage moment. Definitely a RREIA rage moment. So, in the interest of trying to help me pull my foot out of my mouth, I hope everybody is well today. I hope everybody's enjoying the stream and the run. I know it's quite early for most of us who live in the US, especially if you live on the West Coast. For those in Europe, I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday afternoon. If anybody has any just general questions for me, please do ask. I'm no ogre. If you have any questions for me, you just want to ask anything in general about me, about the game, I'm fairly open. If it's anything that's too personal, I can always just decline to answer, but I don't know if I have any particularly exciting stories to tell. So how did I get into Quest 64? So I got this game back when it came out many years ago. Back when we had to ride our dinosaurs to school both ways, through the snow, uphill, barefoot, blah blah blah. Gosh, where? Nice, we're 1300 chat. I'm not sure I follow that. Oh, I was like, what is 1300 chat? Oh, yes, nice job on hitting $1,300 to the chat. That makes a lot more sense when I actually parse it correctly. I was like, what is a 1300 chat? But I got this game back when it came out, and since my family did not have a ton of money growing up, pretty much the games that I got, I played the crap out of, because that's kind of what I had to do with my life. So I got into speedrunning this game back in 2015 or so, because I was watching a run. I was watching somebody do a run of this, and much like how I started Legaia, I was like, hey, I think I can do better than this. And so I went to start working on the game. And that actually is kind of how I got into a lot of games. Not all of them. I definitely didn't come in thinking that, hello, let's play Nintendo ITA. I definitely didn't come into Earthbound thinking it was going to be some great thing or what have you. But like with the Legaia games, that's how I started that Quest 64 as well. It's like, you know what? I think I can do a better job. So rather than whine and be like, wow, this run sucks, I'd be like, you know what? Here, this run is not very good and it can be done better, and let me demonstrate. Because nobody likes a blowhard who can't put their money where their mouth is. And I don't really play this game like at a super competitive level anymore. I've kind of... It's not my favorite game, but I still bring it up for marathons from time to time, mostly because it's something I don't really have to de-rust too much, because it's very simple to execute run. And there is some amount of nostalgia, and of course, it is probably the shortest game that I still run by a fairly significant margin. I run a lot of like 4, 5, 6 hour RPGs, so... And some longer ones. So it's somewhat easier of an ask to get 2.5 hours into an event than 6.5 hours. So, Shilf, we all know what it rhymes with, yada yada. I need to drop rocks on her. She has 1,000 health. I'm doing about 190 a rock, so... My math is correct. I'm not going to quite kill her with 5 rocks, but... Shilf, not shelf. There do not appear to be any elves sitting on top of her at the moment. It doesn't stand for anything, that's just the character's name. I was merely suggesting that it rhymed with something. It's like, yes, we all know what it rhymes with, yeah. But we don't need to go into that. This family friendly. I mean, this is unlike mini marathons. This marathon has never been one for being super overly family sponsor friendly, advertiser friendly, but still, I don't like to use coarse language. It's just not something I enjoy doing. I need a save here to set up for Death Warp. Yes, and I appreciate that, because unfortunately there seems to be quite a number of people who, like, you know, language. But there you go, but darn heck. Oh, that last one's a real swear. Yeah. Well, I'd rather not have one of those if it's all the same, but alas, that's still many thousands of dollars and probably a couple of years away. Butts. the old Earthbound player name meme, butts, 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 butt. But I've always thought butt was better. But, I've often heard the saying that curse words are tools of the lazy mind to be used sparingly. That when the drunken sailor goes on a profanity-laden tirade, nobody really notices it. When the calm old man starts shouting obscenities, then you know the fecal matter is hitting the fan, as the kiddies might say. Just for kicks, I'm gonna go and grab a replica. We probably won't need it, but you know, one thing I've never gotten a good answer to is why is it that the sailor, of all things, is the profession that is particularly known for its profligate displays of profanity, as opposed to any other profession? Now, I'm not suggesting that sailors don't, well, talk like themselves, but it really does beg the question. They come for the pirates, and pirates are illegal. Therefore, pirates must swear and say things like, "Arr!" Actually, I have a pirate emote. There's my pirate emote. I have one of those. Yar. So I said, buttocks. I'm going to kick you in your buttocks. That actually makes sense. Yes, that would actually make sense. I could definitely see that making a lot of sense. You don't have to be. I try not to think too much. It usually doesn't end super great for me. So this is Boil Hole. Definitely known for its for being very frigid here in the Boil Hole. Obviously, that is, of course, a joke. Is that sarcasm? Possibly. So as I mentioned before, I am trying to get to 24 max MP. So I'm using Rock Shower when I can. Can't really 36. I couldn't see because it was scrolling because I was moving in a... It doesn't matter. So those are the Rockies. In glitchless categories where you don't have agility glitch and they outspeed you, they are very, very annoying because they move extremely, extremely slowly and cause a lot of general baby rage. But in categories that do use agility glitch where you outspeed them, they are no particular threat. I mean, they're not a threat to like dying or anything. They just eat up a lot of time. Yep, Quest 64. That is extremely accurate, W Song. It is a game and it does exist. I'm not gonna say it's a good game. I'm not gonna say it's a bad game because I don't think it's either of those, but it is definitely an experience. This is a thing that exists. And well, I hope everybody is having fun. The game just crashed. I have never had that happen before. Uh, try. Okay. I had to be like, okay, this is. So I did save not too far away. If somebody could point out that we're gonna lose about 8 minutes because of the game crash. That is definitely the first. I actually worry that I had bricked the entire cart just there. I have never had that happen. So we are going to lose about 8 minutes. I know we're kind of far ahead, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. Like, I actually went to switch to Paper Mario just to be like, did my N64 completely brick just then? Or like, what the flip happened? Because I was like, oh fudge, because I like tried to turn it on and off again multiple times and wasn't getting anywhere, and I was like, oh fudge. Yeah, so we're gonna lose about 8 minutes because I'm gonna have to. That's how much time we'll lose to the crash. That's the first time that I've ever seen that happen, and you know, I have to say the phrase that everybody says. That's never happened before. Said literally every speedrunner ever. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to say a few coarse words since we were talking about language. And cussing and such. I'm gonna say a few choice words. Fudge, 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 fire, fudge, fart, fudge, crap, darn it, shoot, 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 heck, baby rage. All right, do I have that out of my system? No, not yet. Fudge. Okay, now I think I'm good. Streamer right now is definitely baby raging. Baby rage. So the question may come up: why do I do baby? Why is baby rage my thing? So it actually has nothing to do with like whining like a baby. It's actually because of in Legend of Legaia, which is probably my main speed game. There are some characters that are prophet babies, Haris, and they get swallowed up into the earth. So it's just kind of become a joke that whenever the villains take out their prophet babies, that we all go baby rage. They go wah wah wah, and it's just kind of become become my thing. So that's why you may see me, or I guess hear me go baby rage every now and again. There are stories. There is a method to my madness. It just might not always be a sensible method to said madness. I mean, it is, after all, madness. Well, to be fair, Lady Starbird, the last time I did Quest 64 for a speedrun marathon a few weeks back, I had a dysphoria tech halfway through the run, and I almost just ended the run right then because I was so upset. So, we haven't had one of those yet. Knock on wood. We continue that trend for today's run, but that was... definitely not my finest hour. But, failures of the run aside, how is everyone today? I hope everyone's having a splendid Saturday. I was going to say a fantabulous Friday, but it is in fact Saturday, so a splendid Saturday. And I haven't had a dysphoria attack today, and apart from the game crashing on me and me being worried that I had bricked my console, I think I'm doing all right. So yeah, I'm doing. I think I'm holding tough. If we crash again, I might have to take the forfeit. Just if this continues to be an issue, but. No, it's not a joke, and I did not mean that as a joke, and I apologize if it came off like I was joking around with dysphoria. It definitely is not one, and I did mean it with all due seriousness that the word carries with it. Like, just as I have had a true panic attack before, and definitely I would not joke around about having a panic attack. Who is the antagonist of Quest 64? So, Mammon in one sense. Is the ultimate villain that you're trying to destroy. But I think through the puppet Shannon, who is manipulating events in the world, Chad is not the evil guy, Frosty. I don't think Chad has been evil. I mean, I think the Quest 64 cart is the villain. So I've heard that Final Fantasy. So speaking, going back to Final Fantasy 2, I mentioned that the leveling mechanics in this game are similar to those in 2. And I've often heard it said that Final Fantasy 2 is at once two different games. It is a battle of the four heroes to defeat the evil emperor and his good and evil halves that took over heaven and hell respectively. But at the same time, it is the battle of you, the player, versus Final Fantasy 2, the cartridge, as it attempts to wear you down and break your spirit from within. And I kind of think it's the same way with Quest 64. It is certainly a battle of Brian against Bogus and Mammon and the other antagonists, but it is also a battle of Quest 64, the cartridge, against you, the player. And unfortunately, today the cartridge pulled a dirty trick. It definitely used. It definitely fought dirty today, much to my disappointment and a little bit of baby rage. I don't need to pick up that treasure. I can't even remember what it is. I know it's not super important, though. There is a spirit I need to collect, though. In all spirits with Out of Bounds, this is actually one of the most obnoxious spirits in the game, because you actually have to go fight Fargo, pick up the spirit, and you have to go like all the way back. You go out of bounds, go through the dungeon, fight Fargo from out of bounds, leave the dungeon, and then you have to come back in and take like a 3-minute detour to pick that spirit up because it's so obnoxiously out of the way. It's really quite a frustrating spirit. I'm not gonna. There is a giant shoes and a replica in those 2 treasure chests, but I have no need for either. So for this category, I do, because this is all spirits. I know on my end where I have put the overlay, it says all spirits, but I've been told that it didn't get transferred over correctly, so it says any %, which is not correct. Again, I don't know if that's been fixed. I know it said that towards the beginning, but I don't know. This says any %, because I can see on my end it says... We're getting, yeah, it says, like I put it in, it says game info quest 64 all spirits new major glitches estimate 235, but I don't know what it says on y'all's end, because my internet is not the most stable at all times. And I cannot, for the most part, watch a stream and stream at the same time, lest I run the risk of starting to drop frames every once in a while, whenever the internet glitches out a bit. Because so we have Cox here, and well, unfortunately, Cox is a bag of itself. As I like to say. The very same, I'm afraid. Ah, dial-up. That's not a phrase I've heard in a very long. That's a phrase I've not heard in a long time. I like 4 rocks. I need like 10. Do you mean Cox's rooster? 7. Here's 24 MP. Just a hair behind schedule. Ta-da! Alright, so that wasn't too terrible of a Fargo fight. Not just the city in North Dakota, as it turns out. My neck is kind of stiff today. Not sure why that's the case. Really shouldn't be that bad. And now we get to listen to the awesome music of Baragoon War for a few minutes. This is definitely one of my favorite tracks in the game.